You know, it's how it goes sometimes. So, today I'm going to read from Isaiah chapter 7. Excuse me. Most Christians believe that this is talking about Jesus. But I'm going to show you that it is not talking about Jesus. And I have titled this live stream Isaiah 7 Reading Verses in Context, because it is very, very important to read verses in context. Because you can get the wrong idea. And the writer of Matthew in the New Testament actually got the wrong idea. I don't think he read the verse out of context, though. I think perhaps I know from scholars that Matthew read the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Old Testament, not the original Hebrew scriptures. So, Dr. Josh of Digital Hammurabi has a very good episode on this, whether virgin is a mistranslation or not. Now, he is a Hebrew scholar. He's also a Greek scholar, So, I'm getting this from him. The term Alma in Hebrew generally means young woman. Generally. It can mean virgin, but it generally means young woman. So when whoever translated Isaiah into Greek, they translated Alma, which usually means young woman, but can mean virgin, translated the word to Parthenos, which in Greek, I'll leave the link down below to Dr. Josh's, hey Marianne, and for Dr. Josh's video on this, but I think Parthenos always means virgin. So we have Alma, which can sometimes mean virgin, translated to Parthenos, which always means virgin. So Matthew was not lying when he said virgin. He didn't know, basically. So, Marianne, we're doing reading verses in context. I'm going to be specifically focusing on Isaiah 7:14. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. The virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and will call him Emmanuel. And I'm going to be explaining, and you can catch this later, of course. I will be explaining why this is not referring to Jesus, because it says right there in the passage that it is not referring to Jesus. But for some reason, for some odd reason, Christians take Isaiah 7:14 completely out of context and say, yeah, this is referring to Jesus. So, I won't feel bad when you gotta go. Excuse me. I won't feel bad when you gotta go to class. You know, you do what you gotta do. So anyway, I'll start reading in 7:1 because it's kind of an involved story, and the story actually starts at 7:1. When Ahaz, son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, was king of Judah, King Rezin of Aram, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, marched up to fight against Jerusalem, but they could not overpower it. Now the house of David was told, Aram has allied itself with Ephraim. So the hearts of Ahaz and his people were shaken, as the trees of the forest are shaken by the wind. Then the Lord said to Isaiah, Go out, you and your son Shear-Jashub, to meet Ahaz at the end of the aqueduct of the upper pool. I'm going to skip some because it's just like whatever. Picking up in verse 6. Let us invade Judah, let us tear it apart and divide it among ourselves, and make the son of Tabeel king over it. Yet this is what the sovereign Lord says. It will not take place. It will not happen. For the head of Aram is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is only Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will be too shattered to be a people. The head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is only Remaliah's son. If you do not stand firm in your faith, you will not stand at all. Again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz. Okay, so this is basically where it goes into the sign. And this is verse 10. Again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, Ask the Lord your God for a sign, whether in the deepest depths or in the highest heights. But Ahaz said, I will not ask. I will not put the Lord to the test. Then Isaiah said, Hear now, you house of David. Is it not enough to try the patience of humans? Will you try the patience of my God also? Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin, and there's a footnote here, or young woman. So this is the NIV. It does acknowledge, at least in the NIV, that it can be translated as young woman. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel. Okay, this is the point where it is basically saying that it is not talking about Jesus. Now let me read it and I'll go into it. Verse 15. He will be eating curds and honey when he knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right. For before the boy knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right, the land of the 2 kings you dread will be laid waste. And then for completion's sake, I'll read 17. The Lord will bring on you and on your people and on the house of your father a time unlike any since Ephraim broke away from Judah. He will bring the king of Assyria. So, I haven't had time to dig into this, but from what I've read, it seems like the 2 kings they dread are Rezin and Remaliah's son. From what I've read. And it says, for before the boy knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right, the land of the 2 kings you dread will be laid waste. This is not future tense. I don't believe any of this for your information. I don't believe any of this. But this is not future tense. God is saying, you're dreading 2 kings, and I'm telling you it's not going to happen. And there's going to be a son born to a young woman, and before 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere around in there, before he's 2, 3, 4, 5, you're not going to have to worry about him anymore, because I'm going to lay him waste. He's not talking future tense. When he's talking about the son, he's talking about future tense. When he's talking about the land being laid waste, he is not talking future tense. He is saying, you dread them now, but in very short order, I'm going to make sure they are laid waste. Which, like I said, I don't believe that God said this. But anyway, that is how you can tell that this verse is not talking about Jesus. This is why you need to read things in context, because if you don't, it's very easy to misunderstand them. And like I said, I don't fault Matthew, because Matthew, or the author of Matthew rather, was working from the Septuagint, and the Septuagint actually did use the word for virgin. He probably didn't know how to read Hebrew. So, anyway, that's that. Now, could he have figured it out if he had read the verse in context? Maybe. I can't say for sure. But I am saying that we can figure it out now. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Reading verses in context, very important, people. So I will let you go. Have a great day, and I'll